another enthralling episode of Diary of a Noob Raid Leader. My name is Nicole from NeriApproves.com, and this is a show where I share with you all my experiences of learning to lead 9 other players to their deaths in current raid content. Hooray! Last episode, things weren't going so well for my relaxed raids. We had spent basically an entire evening wiping on Stone Guard thanks to people not performing as they could, and things just generally going completely and utterly wrong because that's just how things go in my guild. Things go wrong. So I just threw up a spontaneous event on the calendar for Monday, which is not our usual run, and I actually managed to get a group of people together, which was fantastic. And I don't know if you watched last week's episode, I mentioned that there were a few problem players in that they weren't performing as they could, and it was kind of dragging the whole group down as a whole. Well, I can thankfully report that having spoken to each of them, things were so much better this week. Like, our problem DPS who couldn't stop dying switched to tank, and I was genuinely happy with his performance. He did really well. He picked up on it rather quickly. He was open to suggestions. He didn't die. That's the most important part, is he didn't die. So I was really happy with him. And the other DPSer who was a little bit struggling, he changed his spec like half an hour before raid, and so he sort of wasn't really familiar with it, but he was doing 10 to 20k more than he was last time we ran. So all in all, that was really fantastic. On the Monday night, I had to take my pally to the other raid again. More on that later. So I had to take my pally to the other raid, so she was locked out, which meant that relaxed raids was down a healer. So I went on my undergeared Resto Druid, and we had another Resto Druid who was also probably only just on the cusp of raid ready. And then we had our usual shaman, and we did well. Like, it was, I think we 2-shot Stone Guard or something like that, which for us is amazing. But when we got to old matey Feng the Accursed, our DPS, we didn't have our usual nukes. And by nukes I mean rogues, because our 2 rogues were very good at DPS. They did really impressive numbers, and one has switched and the other can't make it to Mondays. So we felt that, and because we had undergeared healers, we felt how long it was taking to get to phase 3, and then how long phase 3 was lasting on Feng. It was more of a, just squeeze a little bit more out. We've got this. It'd be great. And then family issues struck our shaman healer, and he had to leave for the evening unexpectedly, which, sorry if you're watching shaman healer, actually worked out for the best, because we then were able to bring in one of the DPS's healers, who basically carried me and the other druid, and we got Feng down, which was wonderful. Moving on, I decided that since we had 2 tanks now and we had regular healers and whatnot, I thought, you know what, I think I may be ready to move us up to a weekly schedule. So we went back into Mogushan Vaults on Thursday, I think it was. Had our very first 1-shot of the Stone Guardians. I was like, wow, a fortnight ago? Nah, wasn't gonna happen. Fortnight ago, we were banging our heads against a brick wall with infuriating wipes to silly things, and this time around we're just running like a well-oiled machine, so to speak. So that was really good. I got to take my paladin, which probably helped, and we had our usual priest healer back, and our shaman healer was back as well, so heals was great. Down tank though. Our wonderful bear tank, who I mentioned last week has brought characters over and everything to help out, he had a real life crisis and he couldn't make it, but he told someone, which is very helpful. And because the main raid group has moved on to Heart of Fear full time now, I was able to pull in one of their tanks. Again, their tanks come to my rescue all the time, though I felt really bad this time because this particular tank had finally geared up an alt DPS to come along and help out, and he wanted to bring his hunter, and I'm really sorry, Hoggy, that you didn't get to bring your hunter, but on the flip side, had he not switched, there would have been no raid, because I just don't want to pug I just am in irrational fear of just getting people that are rude and horrible and just bring down the fun of the raid altogether. But then again, on the flip side, not raiding at all brings down everyone's fun. So I'll have to... Sounds like a Neri approved post in the making right there. But so we didn't have a tank and we were short of DPS. That's right, DPS couldn't make it as well, and I pulled in every string I could. I just couldn't find that last DPS. So there was one option left to me, and I had to pull some pretty big favors in to get it to happen. But my husband had just quit raiding with us, and he's moved over to another server. But his shaman, his DPS shaman's still on Blackrock. And so I may or may not have pulled the "it's my birthday tomorrow" card to get him to come along. But I was under the impression that the other DPS was coming. He was just going to be late. Except just going to be late equated to not logging in at all. But it was a good raid. Really, like, we did much better until we got to Garajal, the Spirit Binder. So our DPS just wasn't cutting it. We kept making enrage. If you're familiar with the Garajal fight, it's a hard enrage. It's once he hits enrage, you will instantly die. There's no winging it. There's no survival by dots or anything like that. So we had a lot of infuriating wipes like that. So in the end, I switched off my paladin and went and got my kitty. And so we 2-healed it. And while I did that, another one of the DPSs said, look, my main isn't saved. I'll bring my main as well because you guys want to get the kill, which is understandable. And I'm like, yeah, we kind of would like the kill. I'm not going to say no if you're going to bring your main. I would really like us to be 3 bosses down in here now. So last attempt of the night and we got it. So we have our group first Garajal kill. Hooray! But it makes me kind of a little bit sad that we couldn't do it off our own backs. Like we had to call in mains to come and do it. That was a little bit sad. But I created the relaxed raid to be very ult friendly, and if I want ults to come along, that means that sometimes we're not going to be as awesome as we could be, and that's fair enough, because, you know, boosting up the ult helps us. It gives us more flexibility. If, you know, a healer can't make it, tank can't make it, whatever, you know, we don't have a lust, like bloodlust, heroism, you know, it works in our favor to help our ults out. And we have a lot of people who are ultaholics, so I'm fine with that. I think we're now at the point in Mogoshan Vaults where I can't just go, alright guys, so this is what's happening, let's just wing it. Like, there's now little nuances that I haven't properly researched into yet, and that's kind of holding us back. So the healers were worried about masks overwhelming us all, which is a very, very true point. That's the whole basis of the fight. It goes all about how you kill the masks in the other world. So all our DPSs were staying in until like 1 second left to go before they die. And I wonder, looking back on it, and I really should go research it, and this is embarrassing admitting that I haven't, was that wrong? Should maybe a DPS had gone in? Like, so I said on our last attempt before we switched mains, I said, okay, so if you melee, I only want you to stay in there until you've got your button and then get out and come back on the boss. I want range to finish off the ads inside the realm. And I wonder if that's the right way to go, or if we were doing it right the first time and everyone was just staying in there as long as they can because there was such an emphasis on destroying masks. So that's a little bit for me to take away from Thursday night, is that yes, have to really know the intricacies of the fight, because it's, as raid leader, it's my responsibility to know that stuff. Because if I get it wrong and all the rain, like everyone stays in and then we keep wiping, you know, I'm kind of wasting everyone's time, and that's, I don't want to kill bosses too, of course. But yes, so relaxed raid has ended on a high, and we're now weekly, and we're now 3 bosses down in Mogoshan Vaults. So 5.2 launches tomorrow. So I'm not really sure what we're going to do on Thursday. I don't know if going back into Mogushen Vaults is a good idea. I don't know if we could try something different because I believe it's getting nerfed, or I'm not sure. Maybe that's what I should do now, is I should go do some homework into the new bosses and see where that should take my guild. But anyway, that's enough rambling for me today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope if you yourself are new to raid leading, I hope that by sharing my experiences, it's helping you. If you're a raider, I hope that you find my ramblings at least kind of funny or helpful or something. And if you've enjoyed this show, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, or alternatively, you can check out www.neriapproves.com for more shenanigans from yours truly. But until next time, good luck, have fun!